Hey, there we go. Cool. Excellent.
All right. My name is Michael Cummings, and I'm here to talk about Baseline. Baseline is an app that will help you present your best and most cheerful face to the world, and I mean that literally. You submit a photo of yourself to the Baseline app, and it will be a truly dispassionate and perfectly consistent judge, helping you to enhance your professional appearance over time. So presenting a professional appearance to the world is important, but if you need advice, getting it can be socially fraught. Who can you think of who would be interested in answering repeated questions on your appearance? Who could give unbiased and helpful assessments answering these questions? Along those lines, if you're looking for a biased friend simulator in this area, Cortana and Google give these answers to how do I look today. They don't even need to look at you to answer that way. But if you are looking to improve, Baseline is better. It works on Face++ technology, and it gives, excuse me, it evaluates elements of appearance consistently and without bias, allowing you to test your appearance without being a pest to your friends. The Baseline app will take a user's photo and answer to a question on whether the user is looking for work, and any comments that the user deems helpful. The photo is sent for analysis to the Face++ API, and the user, photo analysis, question answer, and comments are stored in Firebase, specific to that user. On the main screen of the app, the latest user photo is displayed along with other user-supplied information, and the last few requests for that user can be shown in the window to the right for spotting trends. Our developers on this project are Jordan Kuhn, Michael Cummings, Jeffrey Hansen, Ugana Ojiaku, and I'm going to hand it over to Jeffrey right now to step-by-step demo the app as it stands.
Yes, so hello everyone. Of course, you could ask your friends when you're going to upload a photo to your, you're going to put it on a resume if you want to do that route, or you want to put it on your LinkedIn, even your social networking platforms, whatever the kids are using nowadays. You could ask a friend, or person, but that requires friends, and it's also going to be objective. So it's easier with our product. Simply go to Baseline and hit submit your picture. You'll log in to your preferred account, make an account. We have authentication, so you can save your past results and see your progress through time. We'll see that in a minute. Now, once you've logged in and created your account, submit a picture, choose the file, find a file that you think best represents you. And comment what your thoughts are upon seeing yourself. Face++ quickly gives back what emotion that is confident that you display in that photo. For me, it's 89% confident that I'm happy. It also gives me ratings of its confidence of how attractive I am compared to the rest of the population. So in this photo, I'm apparently more attractive than 66% of the population from the male perspective. Also, for your convenience, the female perspective is also available. Of course, like I said, tracking your progress and your improvement of your professional appearance is important. So you can see where I've started off. and improved from there. Your comments, your attractiveness, and your emotion is noted in all of these. At baseline, we don't think that time should be displayed in a normal, readable fashion. So the Unix time code is there for your consumption. And look, wow, where I am now. If you want, there's a LinkedIn button there. That's broken. As of about a few hours ago. And our mission statement is here. If you want to learn more about us, more about our products and how we see the world objectively, and more about us as developers. Now, on to improvements, where we want to go from here. How can we make this better? Ken?
Okay. So improvements, some of the things that we decided were, of course, just changing that Unix time to real time, so it's understandable to the user. We also had more work, just like group one talked about, just adding some things to the authentication, whereas like having a logout button or having like a timeout session for if the user is taking a while, they're no longer on that site, it'll just time out, log them out. Then also adding like a trend line to like the past results to show like more about like their improvement versus just giving them password. Okay, so and then also since our button isn't working for LinkedIn, that was really ideal because it really is an application to try to improve your professionalism. But we also want to add other social media sites, like if you want to update your Facebook profile or your Twitter account or different things. Somebody else, Jordan suggested that we should also like maybe play music in the background depending on your mood, I guess.
Like Over the Rainbow or something if you're angry.
Okay. And then I'll just keep it short. Lastly, we would like to add a webcam because that was initially our idea to also give the user a webcam live photo option to input.
That worked a few hours ago, and then it made past results not work. So pick your battles.
So then now we're going to talk about what we individually did as a group. Start, Jordan.
Okay, I'm Jordan, and I did the UI design. I wanted to go with a more Blade Runner theme, but we decided to go with lighter, more inviting colors because otherwise it would look like a death metal fan page. We used Bootstrap, and we wanted to create a web page that had two cards, one with your most recent photo and a submit new picture, and then the other with results and view past results, and then the LinkedIn button, which doesn't work. I did add a webcam function, but I didn't know where the pictures were going, so I'd just take a picture, and then I'm gonna guess it goes to Face++, which is probably the Chinese government. I also created a basic nav bar at the top, which should quick scroll once you click it. And I just sectioned off the bottom of the HTML with an about and developers. And in the about, I did a basic summary of what Baseline can do. And for the developers, I did our names. And when you click our names, it'll bring it to our portfolios for our work. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm Jeff. I took care of Face++ and sending information, the image to the API, getting the results back and manipulating them, as well as sending the picture, getting the results to the database. We actually we started out using Base64 to encode the image onto the page, and that's still what we use for the past results. But for some reason, even though the documentation says it can receive Base64 encoding, it doesn't work. So I had to get Firebase storage working for that, and then use that to at least display the images and read them. In the future too, apparently Face++ has the ability to blur faces. So if you're like our friend Kimmy here and you're less attractive than, more attractive than 40% of the population, maybe just blur the face.
Okay. I started out on the project just doing the basic bootstrap wireframe, making sure we had all the divs and buttons we wanted ID'd correctly for the code, and then yeah, Jordan picked up the UI after that. Biggest thing I did after that was the authentication stuff. I went down a rabbit hole originally with an older version and older documentation with it, but got into the new widget, and it is nice. I recommend it for anyone who wants to use it. As already said, in group one, there's a whole lot you could do with it, and there's a lot more I'd like to do with it. Right now, it's just basically a privacy screen where you sign in, and it sets a subdirectory of the Firebase storage that just contains your results that it pushes to and pulls from. So, you know, not sophisticated security at the moment. If you know someone else's ID, you can get in there through the console. Yeah, so right now it serves the purpose of a privacy screen, just convenience for each viewer. But that's something I'd like to develop going forward. Oh, also that LinkedIn button. There is an API for that, an API documentation for that function, but the documentation says this does not work. It requires a media link, and we don't accept media at this time. We want to make it work in the future. We discovered that far into the process. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a code, but then I was like, why isn't it working?
Twitter, and they have a lengthy approval process for using their API to push things like that. And yeah, making the webcam work is sort of in progress. So that button has a long and sad history.
Okay, and then lastly, I was in charge of just doing the general JavaScript. So even when we didn't have much on the page, just having like mock events or click events for what we were going to have in the future. And then so once we started getting things, I started, you know, making sure that IDs matched up to what he was putting in Bootstrap and stuff like that. Then after a while, we needed a button that would allow the user to click and then find their own files on their computer. So I was in charge of finding that button. And then once we got that file, finding a way to store it in our Firebase database. And so he mentioned Base64, which is a tool for like, I think encrypting I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but encrypting a picture into a long string so that it can be moved easily. So we converted this picture to Base64, put it into a Firebase database, and then recalled it when we clicked the view past results button through child added. So that was my role, to really make sure the pictures are working and being displayed on the screen correctly. Any questions?
Go ahead. Why were you initially going to use Base64 instead of Firebase?
That was the route that she took for starting it, and I thought she had done all the work for getting it sent to the server in Base64. And so since the documentation for Face++ said you can use it, I just started going that direction and then spent a significant amount of time trying to get that to work before I find out that binary also didn't work even though it said it did.
Oh, it's not like that. So it's like
No.
instead of binary, zeros and ones, with 64 is
Yeah.
okay, but they're being stored. The plan was always to store them in Firebase.
Mhm.
Yeah, and also add that like we were trying to decide if we should use Firebase, because there's a Firebase storage versus a Firebase database. And so in the database we have Base64, which if you use storage, you can just store the file itself, but you'd have to convert that file, the picture, into a URL. So in order to like skip that step, we just use Base64 because that will just allow it to pop on the screen without converting it to a URL first. But for him, Base++ doesn't take Base64, so he had to use Firebase storage.
I had to send it to the storage
and then
to get it to make a URL,
yeah, so we had
and then grab that URL and then analyze it.
And just, which is great, all of this is great for demo purposes, but when in real applications, don't ever store things like images in a database. Do use storage, Firebase storage for that kind of thing. You're gonna cause yourself all sorts of issues if you try to throw base 64 strings into your database for your images.
If you try to open the data, like if you try to expand that string, it just crashes the database instantly.
I know you mentioned blurring from the scan API. Is there like a sensor function or parameter you put in to generate images?
You know, well, it only detects faces. The Face++ does. So there's other algorithms, or there's other APIs out there that you can do whatever you want to with. But if you,
They're not intended to be publicly viewable, really. I mean, it's just a person to view their own pictures that they submit. So I hadn't really thought of that.
Yeah, but if you were to try to input like a picture of a landscape or something, it wouldn't read anything. Nothing would show up. So
also,
it
please. Oh, sorry.
sorry. It only detects photos of images of yourself.
And please don't upload photos of more than one person, because that also doesn't work.
All right, we do have to move on, but.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay, do you ever not look better? Or does it-
For just-
The results are the same for the photo, that specific photo. So the results don't change if if she were to input that photo again, the results will still say that.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? Okay.
Or it changes something.
It changes if it's a new photo, but if it's the same photo, it'll give you that same result.
3 in person.
Consistent and dispassionate.
Objective.
This is beautifully designed.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think all I would like to see is just the charts, but outside that, yeah.
Yeah, one day.
All right, who wants to go next? We have 2 members.